So this will be my first rant. I'm going to rant about prejudice, mostly, and religion, in a good way, hopefully, and just kind of my take on it and how it kind of affects me. And I'll read it off my blog. I have a blog, but this is going to be a new rant or a new blog on whatever it is I posted on. So basically, the title of this rant is called "To Achieve, We Must Also Leave Behind." And I'm having problems understanding why it is that people cannot accept and respect all other people's religions. Seriously, is it so hard to just try for a little peace or understanding? Like, I have friends from many religions and ethnicities, and I love learning about their cultures. I really do. It's something I really love to do. I just love their differences, to be honest. And there aren't many differences. Once I started to examine them, especially the religions, I started noticing that there were more similarities than there were differences. But I love the differences, even if they, don't necessarily agree with or believe what I believe. I love learning about them. And I've been criticized for it my whole life. Like, from my parents, my friends, and I can't understand why. I really do pity them, because they're the ones missing out. On the rich cultures and the religions and the beliefs and the sense of community. And I also pity them, because they'll never feel that sense of love, true love for another person, if they have prejudice in the way. And quite frankly, it's my business, and it's never going to concern them. And I just don't understand why they think it's so bad. I'm working for peacefulness, peace between people, regardless of differences, through understanding and caring. Like, how are we better? Like, how? Oh, that's right, we're not. No one is better. We aren't, they aren't, no one. End of story. That's just the way it is. Every person is equal. Every person has their beliefs, their values. Every person has the potential to be good. And I believe if you just live a life that you feel is right, and it's for good, and it's for others, and you have your own way of worshiping something or other, you're on the right track. I don't really see why, if you're a good person, you lead a good life, you respect people, you do things for people, how you're going to hell, according to some religions. It's, quite frankly, I think it's kind of silly. And even my own religion is quite critical. I don't know. And I have a very close friend of mine. I have two very close friends of mine, mind you, from Pakistan. And they were talking to me the other day about the differences between Islam and Christianity. A popular topic between us. Sometimes it gets heated, but as long as we have a general understanding for one another and we care, it doesn't get too bad. I noticed that we are both slightly judging one another's religions, though, because we're simply misinformed by the media and the word of mouth, especially by the media and word of mouth. In my case, being in Western culture, it's the media, and in their case, it's by bashing other people's cultures and believing that we're all heathens, or to the like. And Christianity can be seen as a passive and too liberal, with many people using the title of Christian without the practical side. But I don't judge people who don't. They have their reasons, hopefully. And Muslims have been seen as, critical and cruel and violent and sexist, who believe everyone is beneath them and going to hell. And I'll tell you my personal secret. It's not true. at all. I mean, yes, Christians are passive at times, and yes, Muslims extremists can be violent, and many are sexist, but so is our culture. And a lot of them, and my own friends still believe that I'm going to hell because I'm not a Muslim, but well, my friends do it because they care. But at times it's true. But I have so many other Muslim friends who don't believe that. Who believe that as long as I'm being a good person and following whatever it is that I follow, that I'll be just fine, and they can pray for me, and I pray for them. But there's so much more that we don't realize, and we're ignorant to it. Like, these things are true in some case, and it's sad and horrific. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. However, people don't try to see otherwise, or have no way of knowing. But I'm not letting them off the hook, mind you, because that's just not acceptable. There's really no excuse for being judgmental towards somebody else, so don't get me wrong here. Islam is a beautiful and peaceful religion, and there are so many millions of Muslims worldwide, even in countries that terrorists came from, or even if the same religion or sect of Muslim that terrorists came from. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't make every single one of them the same. That is ignorance to believe that. Just like it's ignorance to say that I think, well, that would give you what I am, and I don't care to tell you what religion I'm from. Some of you may know, and some of you may not know, and quite frankly, I don't think that it matters what religion I'm from, because I am a person. I have values, I have beliefs of my own that don't just pertain to my religion, and I am who I am. You either accept me and you don't. If I put a label on what I am, then you may hold prejudice, so I'm going to choose not to. But to go back to what I was saying, to be truthful, Christians were known way back for persecuting Jews and many others for not converting, and putting them through torture and God knows what. Look at it this way. Even Osama bin Laden prays peacefully like he was taught, and believes he is saving his beloved people by hurting many others. Is it the person who is cruel, or is it the religion? A few extremists don't make up a religion, and that's just plain common sense. That is true for Christians, it is true for Jewish people, it is true for Muslims, it is true for every religion. A few bad apples do not make a tree. End of story. Yes, our societies are very different, but why focus on differences? Scratch that. Why focus on differences being negative? Holding it against each other, like, I don't get that. We wear a lot less clothing in America and Canada a lot of the time. Not all of us. I myself like to be a more modest person, but many of us do, because that's the way we are. And in the Middle East, covering up is preferred and sometimes mandatory. So what? It's not that we're heathens and they are sexist most of the time. It's simply a matter of personal belief and a choice that we shouldn't force on anyone at all. And I'm against forcing people to cover themselves in the Middle East if they choose not to be. If they want to show a little skin, that's their choice. It shouldn't be mandatory. But that's my personal opinion. I'm not judging. I wish people could see the beauty of all people and all ways of living. In my opinion, there's no right or wrong religion. And I don't believe any gods are different. We simply worship in different beautiful ways. We need to stop and look around. We would see that we are creating the problems on everything and all by ourselves, and we need to step forward and say no more. That's it. And it needs to be said worldwide. If we want peace, we need to leave our judgments behind and learn by living through another person's eyes. It may be hard. There may be past histories, between Pakistan and India, which my two friends fight about constantly. But you know what? If you want peace, and I'm sure all of us do, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And understanding and respect, regardless of what you believe, is what it takes. Not pushing what your book says or what your scroll says or whatever ancient writings you have says. It's not that. It may say, like Christians are better to be Muslims, or it's better to be a Hindu over a Jew. It doesn't matter what it says. It really doesn't. What matters is that it's up to us to keep the peace. And trying to force people to believe what you want them to believe is not keeping the peace. If they feel in their heart that following your religion or your culture or your traditional ways will bring them love and harmony and they feel a connection to it, then fine. But don't try and force people to believe what they don't want to. And I really hope that you guys don't believe that you're better than anybody else. Because we're all beautiful people. We all love, we all have family. And as long as we all walk on the right path of good, that's all that should matter. And that's the end of my little rant. Let me know what you think. Add comments, questions. If you guys have questions, I will definitely answer them in my next video. So, bye for now.